Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we're reading Bhagavad-Gita as it is. We're in the introduction. Everybody know exactly where we are?
Yeah, page number 5, last para.
Oh, just what is the Bhagavad-Gita? Okay. So in this book, we're on page 5 in the introduction, at the very bottom. Srila Prabhupada writes, just what is the Bhagavad-Gita? The purpose of the Bhagavad-Gita is to deliver mankind from the nescience of material existence. Every man is in difficulty in so many ways, as Arjuna also was in difficulty in having to fight the battle of Kurukshetra. Arjuna surrendered unto Sri Krishna, and consequently this Bhagavad-Gita was spoken. Not only Arjuna, but every one of us is full of anxieties because of this material existence. Our very existence is in the atmosphere of non-existence. Actually, we are not meant to be threatened by non-existence. Our existence is eternal. But somehow or other, we are put into asat. Asat refers to that which does not exist. Out of so many human beings who are suffering, there are a few who are actually inquiring about their position as to what they are, why they are put into this awkward position, and so on. Unless one is awakened to this position of questioning his suffering, unless he realizes that he doesn't want suffering, but rather wants to make a solution to all suffering, then one is not to be considered a perfect human being. Humanity begins when this sort of inquiry is awakened in one's mind. In the Brahma Sutra, this inquiry is called Brahma Jignasa, Atato Brahma Jignasa. Every activity of the human being is to be considered a failure unless he inquires about the nature of the Absolute. Therefore, those who begin to question why they are suffering, or where they come from, and where they shall go after death, are proper students for understanding Bhagavad Gita. The sincere student should also have a firm respect for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Such a student was Arjuna. Lord Krishna descends specifically to re-establish the real purpose of life when man forgets that purpose. Even then, out of many, many human beings who awaken, there may be one who actually enters a spirit of understanding his position. And for him, this Bhagavad Gita is spoken. Actually, we are all swallowed by the tigress of nescience, but the Lord is very merciful upon living entities, especially human beings. To this end, he spoke the Bhagavad Gita, making his friend Arjuna his student. Being an associate of Lord Krishna, Arjuna was above all ignorance. But Arjuna was put into ignorance on the battlefield of Kurukshetra just to question Lord Krishna about the problems of life, so that the Lord could explain them for the benefit of future generations of human beings and chalk out the plan of life. Then man could act accordingly and perfect the mission of human life. We'll read one more paragraph. The subject of the Bhagavad-Gita entails the comprehension of 5 basic truths. First of all, the science of God is explained, and then the constitutional position of the living entities, jivas. There's Ishvara, which means the controller. There are jivas, the living entities, which are controlled. If a living entity says that he is not controlled, but that he is free, then he is insane. The living being is controlled in every respect, at least in his conditioned life. So in the Bhagavad Gita, the subject matter deals with the Ishvara, the supreme controller, and the jivas, the conditioned or the controlled living entities, Prakriti, material nature, and time, the duration of existence of the whole universe, or the manifestation of material nature, and karma, activity, are also discussed. The cosmic manifestation is full of different activities. All living entities are engaged in different activities. From Bhagavad Gita, we must learn what God is, what the living entities are, what Prakriti is, what the cosmic manifestation is, how it is controlled by time, and what the activities of the living entities are. Is that good enough? Or?
Yeah.
We can read continually. Om Jnana Timarandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitang Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Namao Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti-Vedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschacha Deshatarane. So this introduction of Bhagavad Gita, Srila Prabhupada is giving us the basic foundation of our conditioned life, that all of us are struggling. And anyone who thinks they're not struggling, wait till old age, disease, and death come upon us. And there's Adhyatmika, Adidaivika, Adibodhika. Adhyatmika, the mind is troubling. You know, the senses are disturbing. Adibodhika, other living entities. You're walking on Parikram path and there's all kinds of rickshaws and cars and horns, and sometimes during different weather there's flies, mosquitoes. Adidaivika, pestilence, earthquake. I was in Florida for many years, Miami, hurricanes. We had many hurricanes. So the natural disturbances of life are there for everyone. And Krishna is very concerned, although he says personally he appears in a lifetime of Brahma, but there are numerous, unlimited incarnations, and the Lord is sending his personal associates, his devotees, isn't it? He gives Brahma the knowledge, who gives it to Narada, and then Krishna again incarnates partially as Vyasadeva, so he can compile the Mahabharata, and the Bhagavad Gita is the essence of the Mahabharata. And then all the Vedic literatures, Srimad Bhagavatam. For what purpose? For the purpose of the intelligent human beings who recognize that we have a desire to live on. Everybody wants to live eternally. And this eternal existence is our right, because we were never created or born and will never die. This is eternality. We've always existed along with Krishna. Existed in the spiritual world, in the spiritual kingdom, which only 1/4, just imagine how there are millions and billions of universes, trillions of planets, stars, and what to speak of innumerable living entities, because Krishna, he's unlimited. And he expands himself in so many ways, as Balaram, as Srimati Radharani, because there are different levels, different experiences of love. We know love here that, oh, I love my parents, I love my son, I love my boyfriend, my girlfriend, my wife, I love my nation. There are so many places we can repose our love. Everyone's looking for happiness. This is the basic fundamental principle of life, that we all want to be happy. But that happiness is cut short due to the temporal nature of this material body. And Bhagavad-Gita, being spoken to Arjuna, Arjuna is not in ignorance, but he took that role. He took that responsibility that, let me be a servant of all mankind and ask all the questions which are necessary to ask. You know, what is the importance of accepting a guru, or how to control the mind and senses? How do we recognize one who's seen the truth? What is the purpose of a life? A tato brahma jignasa. Isn't it Sanatan Goswami was considered a very learned, and he was knew many languages, highly intelligent, born in a Brahminical family, and very, very capable, but he considered himself that, why I should think I know anything? I don't even know who I am. Who am I? Who are we? Jivera Swarupoi Krishner Nityadas. That we're the eternal servant of Krishna. And in this world, we become the servant of our senses. We become the servant of our necessities. That we think we'll be happy, the way we'll be happy is if I gratify my senses. But in the attempt to gratify the senses, we complicate the issue that, you know, that I want to have a family. It's nice, you know, we have a family, we have a relationship, we have children, we have home, we need a job, we all have to work. Everyone has to do their duties, their work. And someone will say, well, what's wrong with that? That's natural, everyone works. Yeah. Krishna performs duties and work. And Krishna did not stop Arjuna from performing his duty. He said, yes, you're a Kshatriya, you fight, but remember me, offer the results to me. So the Bhagavad-Gita is teaching us how the difficulties which are affecting us, how to convert them in such a way that we can dedicate everything to Krishna. Yat karoshi yajusnasi yajyahosi dadasi yat yapatasyasi kontya mad kurushmad marpanam. Whatever you do, whatever sacrifice you perform, whatever you offer or give away, give it to me as an offering. So first thing we have to do is recognize Ishvara Parama Krishna, Satchidananda Vigraha. That Krishna is God, the Supreme Lord, the creator of everything. He's our Father. He's the ultimate personality. From Him everything emanates. Okay, so God is in charge. He has the full Parasya Shaktir Vividhaiva Shruyate. Just by His desire, everything is manifested. We know that in order to achieve, if you want to build a home, you have to find a contractor, you have to get some money in the bank, you have to work really hard, and then you have to get all the permits and deal with all the different construction and all the things which are required. As conditioned souls, we don't have that power. Although Krishna is independent, the Supreme Ishvara, we're little Ishvaras, we're little controllers, we're little samples of Krishna. That Krishna has desires, but His desires are unlimited, spiritual desires. But our desires in this material world are misdirected because we don't understand the fact that we are servants of Krishna. And that service mood has to be cultivated. Lord Chaitanya appeared, and the teachings of Lord Chaitanya are not different than the teachings of Bhagavad-Gita. He's coming to show us practically how, okay, the modes of nature are working on us, lust, anger, greed, mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. The demigods are, the administrators of the universe. We have a responsibility to the demigods because they're providing rain, light, vegetative growth. We have a responsibility to our parents, to the forefathers, to the saints and the scripture. So everything can be satisfied by one stroke, by serving Krishna. Krishna told Nanda Maharaj and all the cowherd boys, the men who were ready to perform that Govardhan Leela for Indra, that there's no need to worship the demigods. You worship me. There's no, from the highest planet down to the lowest planet, all are places of misery. Abrahma Bhuvanaloka Punar Avartano Arjuna. So with our scientific advancement and our rockets and spaceships, we want to go to the moon or travel with science in the outer regions of the universe, thinking that let us conquer this unknown atmosphere, and after some time we'll be able to really, with all our gadgets, understand what is the purpose or goal of life. But we have problem. We have imperfect senses, the four frailties, right? We're illusioned, we commit mistakes, and the cheating propensity. So this is inherent with the material embodiment. Someone may think, well, I don't have a cheating propensity, but all these frailties are there, and everyone, even though we may look up at the sky and think the sun is only a little disk, we have no clue, no idea that it's 140,000 times, or I'm not really sure exactly what it was, or it's huge body. So we can try to understand the absolute truth by our own efforts, by speculation, maybe reading books of philosophy of other persons who also have the same problems we have of imperfect senses. There are so many people are interested in reading newspapers and various novels, literatures, some poetry, but what is the benefit? It's just temporary entertainment, so-called entertainment, which will not profit us. But the Bhagavad-Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and the scriptural teachings, the Shrutis, and the different Chaitanya Charitamrita, all these literatures, they glorify the spiritual world, they glorify the Supreme Lord. They talk about the jiva, conditioning in this material world, and that the human life, our energy is meant to be dedicated for pursuing the path back home. It's not that we just want to stay here and get old, diseased, and die to again be placed into another material body, depend on karma, isn't it? That living entity is eternal, the material modes of nature are eternal, time is eternal, but this karma is not eternal because it's only subject to this material existence. So by karmana daivana trena, by the activities we perform, we get a certain consciousness. And I think several times, at least 2 times in the introduction, it says, yang vapi smaram bhavam tyajatyante kalevaram. That whatever state of being one remembers, at the time of death, that state he'll attain without fail. So our consciousness is right now covered over, muddied. And Lord Chaitanya came to show us the accelerated process. Because in the scripture, according to time, place, and circumstances, there are many, many methods for achieving perfection. What is it? That religiosity, people, they work, they want to be honest, they want to help society, and they follow religious principles according to their understanding of temporary religious principles for hopefully to get economic development and sense gratification. What do people pray for? Please give me, let me go to the heavens. Let me have health, beauty, wealth. All the, Lord Bhagavan means the one who's the most beautiful, the wealthiest, the strongest, the most renounced. So all the things which are attractive, people want that, and they're in this material world, and they're thinking that by hard work and by thinking themselves to be good or religious, it's just a difficult situation when religions, I'm not picking on Christianity, but they said, thou shalt not kill, and I say, well, how can one justify being religious, maintaining slaughterhouses, and causing so much violence to other living entities? Oh, no, that just means I won't murder, or animal doesn't have a soul, or some concocted idea, philosophy. Whereas Bhagavad-Gita very, very clearly explains that every living being is eternal, ever existing, undying, primeval, and that whether you're an animal or a human being or a demigod or a fish in the water, life means the consciousness, the spirit soul. And that consciousness can be awakened, our godly consciousness can be awakened by this process of devotional service. And it's very rare. It says, out of many, many persons who may endeavor for self-realization, hardly one knows the Lord in truth, because it's we know how hard it is to become a devotee. Many people come, they see, spend a little time. I sit in the kirtan. They sit for 5 minutes. Okay, let's go. So it's like it's more of an entertainment, amusement. I have a guru, or I have my guru, or it's more of a fashion. It's Saturday, Sunday. Let's go to the temple, see the deities, which is good. Benefit is there. Yeyatamang prapadyate tangs tataiva bhajamyaham. As we surrender to Krishna, Krishna is rewarding us accordingly. Krishna is giving us more and more opportunity to serve Him. The more we want that, the more enthusiastic we are. But Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very, very kind. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate. That He's very freely giving the highest love of God, the highest perfection, and showing by His personal behavior, by bringing His associates from the spiritual world. When the king or the emperor comes, he comes with his ministers, his military, his servants, all his various paraphernalia along with him. So Krishna, He arranged for all His parents and all the different gopis and gopas and Vrindavan, and set the scene, and Krishna appeared and performed His pastimes of Braj Leela, Brajabhumi Vrindavan, and in order to attract the conditioned souls, showing that you're looking for happiness, you're looking for love. You can have that by devotional service, by going back home, back to the spiritual kingdom. In the Krishna consciousness movement, Srila Prabhupada, he's totally empowered by the Guru Parampara to give us a system so that we can regulate our mind, regulate our senses. Isn't it? You have to take rest early, so you get up early, come and see the deities. Not only see the deities, but it's a chance to really utilize all your time, your energy, your legs, your hands, your head, your mind, your intelligence. And all day we can be reading Bhagavad-Gita, Bhagavatam, or chanting, playing mridanga, playing harmonium. We're getting calluses again, finally. When I was in Miami, I used to be like the solo drummer with there wasn't so many drummers or something. And I'm still finding here not very many drummers. Only a couple of us are fired up to do the drumming. But this is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission, that we have to be utsahan nishchayat daryat tat tat karma pravartanat. Lord Chaitanya and all his associates were dancing hours and hours and hours. Even in the beginning of our society, the devotees, that was their whole program. They'd be out all day long chanting the holy name. Because this holy name of the Lord is non-different than Krishna. And if we hear about Krishna or chant Krishna's name, this is igniting that spark, that fire that has drifted away from the main fire. We're little sparks, but by association with modes of material nature, mainly lust and greed, desires, trying to gratify our mental, intellectual, and sensual desires, thinking that this will bring us happiness, but ultimately there's no real happiness. And we can actually awaken our spiritual senses and feel that parang drishtva nivartate, the higher taste of spiritual life. When you're tasting the water, I am the taste of water. I remember in Miami, we had a hotel on the beach called Govinda's Vaikuntha building. It was 108 rooms, right in the ocean in Miami. I've told the story before, but in the early morning, on the 7th floor, we had Radha Braja Bihari, Jagannath Baladev Subhadra, and we had beautiful Gorni Thai, brass deities, and we had picked glass windows, so out of the ocean, the sun would be coming up, Govinda prayers would be sounding, and then kirtan, and then we'd have Rath Yatra right in the ocean. But in the morning, chanting japa along the ocean, and Krishna is speaking, I am the light of the sun, in the moon is my eyes, or the taste of water. And you can start appreciating our existence in Krishna consciousness more and more by Prabhupada's grace and loving ability to give us this teaching of Bhagavad-Gita. So this association is also extremely important. Birds of a feather flock together. If you want to be a swan in the swan society, then we have to stay with the devotees. But there are those who are simply interested, like crows. Some people throw their garbage here and there, and you see the crows are picking at garbage. And this is the mentality of the materialist. They have no understanding and no clue about how to awaken or illuminate the soul. Anyway, this Krishna consciousness is our saving grace for all of us. We have to follow the process of Krishna's devotional service by regularly chanting the 24-hour or the rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and steady reading and studying Prabhupada's books, because we don't have any other guidance other than what Krishna is giving us here in the form of Bhagavad-Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. Every day we're hearing how we're not the body, we're spirit, soul, and we have to utilize our energy to awaken this love for Krishna. But not everyone will take the process of Krishna consciousness that easily. It takes a lot of effort to really just give our whole attention, our whole love to Krishna. It's not simply that we're going to just be the only ones who are saved. There are people all over the world who are now taking up the process of Krishna consciousness because of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy on them. And this Sankirtan mission is spreading. We can see here, even in Vrindavan, when I first started coming in the late 70s, and we moved here in the 90s, 93, hardly there was a few rickshaws and there was a few people. The peacocks were still everywhere here in Vrindavan. The atmosphere was very transcendental. But you see more and more people are coming and they're becoming attracted. And Krishna's arranging through Mother Nature that a lot of suffering in the world, all over the world people are suffering. And that suffering will continue as long as we stay in this material existence. So it's very rare to have a human form of life, and especially during Lord Chaitanya's era, and in the shelter of Srila Prabhupada, we should take advantage of it by dedicating ourselves to Krishna's mission of Sankirtan. Should I read some more? I'm running out of things to say. Any questions? Any comments? I'm going to read a little bit more of the introduction, get a little more enlightenment here. So where are we? Oh yes. This is page 7. Out of these 5 basic subject matters in Bhagavad-Gita, as it is established that the Supreme Godhead or Krishna or Brahman, the Supreme Controller or Paramatma, you may use whatever name you like, is the greatest of all. The living beings are in quality like the Supreme Controller. For instance, the Lord has control over the universal affairs of material nature and will be explained in later chapters of Bhagavad-Gita. Material nature is not independent. She is acting under the directions of the Supreme Lord. As Lord Krishna says, Mayadhyakshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam. This material nature is working under my direction. When we see wonderful things happening in the cosmic nature, we should know that behind this cosmic manifestation, there is a controller. Nothing could be manifested without being controlled. It is childish not to consider the controller. For instance, a child may think that an automobile is quite wonderful to be able to run without a horse or other animal pulling it. But a sane man knows the nature of the automobile's engineering arrangement. He always knows that behind the machinery there is a man, a driver. Similarly, the Supreme Lord is the driver under whose direction everything is working. Now the jivas, or the living entities, have been accepted by the Lord, as we'll note in later chapters, as his parts and parcels. A particle of gold is also gold. A drop of water from the ocean is also salty. And similarly, we, the living entities, being part and parcel of the Supreme Controller, Ishvara, or Bhagavan, Lord Sri Krishna, have all the qualities of the Supreme Lord in minute quantity, because we are minute Ishvaras, subordinate Ishvaras. We are trying to control nature, as presently we're trying to control space or planets. And this tendency to control is there because it is in Krishna. But because we have the tendency to lord it over material nature, we should know that we are not the Supreme Controller. This is explained in Bhagavad-Gita. So these are some of the points in this part of Bhagavad-Gita that we are eternal, yeah, and our effort and our energy should be dedicated for serving Krishna. and Prabhupada providing all the necessary ingredients for our opportunity to serve Krishna wholeheartedly. Just like the gopis, they're considered the best servants of the Lord because they didn't want to have any kind of interference in their loving relationship. They didn't want anything from Krishna. They just wanted Krishna's pleasure. When Krishna would play his song on his flute, immediately everybody became totally mesmerized and came running to Krishna just to avoid whatever so-called responsibilities they had so they could please Krishna. And Krishna, he works in a personal way with everybody. It's not like he's just a impersonal supreme being created this material world, and because we were bad, he threw us all here in the material world to fend for ourselves, and now go ahead and suffer in the material existence. Yes, there is suffering, but that suffering is a conditioning to awaken us. It's hard to try to rationalize, when we see war or we see starvation, we see so much pain and suffering in the world. Think, how is Krishna being kind? But this is our own, our own doing, in a sense that the spirit soul is never burnt, the soul is never killed. So on the external platform, on the bodily platform, we're seeing the suffering. Arjuna was experiencing great suffering, thinking, oh, I can't kill my relatives or my cousins and my grandfather, and by doing this it will cause so much disruption in society. Yes, from that point of view, but understanding Krishna is trying to reestablish, not trying, but he came to reestablish religious principles by teaching what is the reality of the spirit soul, that you need guidance, you need a spiritual master. You want to learn the truth, you have to approach a bona fide spiritual master, inquire from him submissively, render service. When Krishna came, he also had guru. Krishna and Balaram, Sandipani Muni school, they had in Ujjain. So they performed their duties, and they're showing us that we have to spread this knowledge of Krishna consciousness and help those who are suffering as well. And by this mood of compassion, Srila Prabhupada never tired, always ready and eager to speak to the, doesn't matter who it was, professors, government leaders, or priests, nuns, so many different religionists. He would speak to them in such a way to establish the authority of Bhagavad-Gita, the authority of Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and everyone else is his servant, whether sons, and all the different religions of the world are leading towards Krishna, the Supreme Lord. When Arjuna finally, after seeing the universal form, Parang Brahma Parang Dhamma Pavitrang Paramang Bhavan Purusham Shashvatam Divyam Adi Devam Ajam Vibhum, that he's glorifying Krishna as the supreme absolute truth, the original, the ultimate purifier. And not only himself, but all the great sages, Vyasadeva, Narada, Sita, Devala. So this is the reality that Lord Jesus is the son of Krishna. Krishna is the Supreme Father, and whether it's Moses or all the different saints where the people are following various religious principles, real religion means to follow the laws of God and develop our love for God, develop our love for Krishna. Because that love is covered over, it's there, and it's being misdirected. And by this process of chanting Krishna's holy name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, by chanting Krishna's name and by following this process of sadhana bhakti, we're cleansing the heart. Cheto darpana marjanam bhava mahadevagni nirvapanam. That the more and more we can chant, the more we can hear about Krishna, the more our heart will be cleansed, and we'll become more and more attracted to go back home, back to the spiritual kingdom, not stay in this material world where everything is temporary, and don't let the mind and senses deviate us from staying fixed in this process of Krishna consciousness. I'll leave some time for questions. I didn't have the... Anyone have any questions, comments? Yes, Prabhu.
Well, thank you very much. I mean, this introduction, as you are reading, so some question or thought came because you are in good position to see. We are trying to control nature as presently we are trying to control space or planet, and this tendency to control is there because it is in Krishna. But although we have a tendency to lord it over material nature, we should know that we are not the supreme controller. So, thinking that I am not the supreme controller, Krishna is the supreme controller, is the proper consciousness, or we have to go something?
Thinking that we are the supreme controller?
Like supreme controller. Krishna is the supreme controller, but I have some control.
Right.
So this tendency or this consciousness that I also can control is like...
Yeah, well, everyone believes that by their own power, by their own intelligence, they can overcome the various obstacles or conquer nature. You know, I'll become a millionaire, or, you know, I want to accomplish so many things in life. But that controlling propensity is in Krishna, so all of us have the same propensity, but everything will be, how you say, worked out by the process of devotional service. You know, like it says, yasyasti bhaktir Bhagavad-Gita, that by performing devotional service, all the godly qualities will be manifest, and we'll dissolve any kind of material controlling propensities that we may have, and we'll just become surrendered to Krishna and feel bliss of letting Krishna be in control, and we can follow. When you have a leader, or like Srila Prabhupada's guiding us, so we feel that we can just fully be protected by his guidance, and by Krishna's guidance. Krishna's guiding us in the form of Bhagavad-Gita. So the controlling propensity is there in everybody, and you know, just like I think that as far as management, I got to control this and control that, but we have to recognize Krishna as the supreme controller. We're just tiny little. Indra had the controlling propensity. Lord Brahma had the controlling propensity. You know, you want to come and test Krishna, whether for real this little boy is really the Supreme Lord. Then Krishna showed him, I'm in control. And then they always bow down and beg for forgiveness and for their misunderstanding. So we also have various misunderstandings of trying to control nature and be independent. But once we know that we're servants of Krishna, we become dependent and hopefully do the right thing. Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. It's a nice, wonderful class, and very joyfully you have given the class. I have a little bit question. When we know that Lord Supreme is the cause of all causes, so where does stand our propensity, the little bit our independence? Whatever we know, there are so many misdirected, so many times we know the concept that we have to do the chanting and the process, but we get misdirected. So this misdirection must be caused by the Supreme Lord. Where does our independent activity plays upon? So is it clear?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, it's like I've often given the example when you're out on book distribution or when I used to go out and book distribution all the time. Some days you can speak beautifully and everybody reciprocates and Krishna puts all the right words in your mouth. And sometimes he cuts you off in the sense that like we become proud. Like that was Leela. The gopis were really disturbed when Krishna was trying to convince them that no, you should not be here, you should go back home, is the right thing. But then he was just playing with them. And then they became proud, oh, we're like the most fortunate women. And then Krishna again left them to increase their anticipation, their mood of separation. Their love was even intensified. So sometimes even like I'm thinking, well, yes, if I read nicely, then I can maybe say something intelligently, and sometimes Krishna allows it, and then sometimes Krishna just puts a cloud on you that you think that even though we have unlimited, wonderful philosophy, that you become limited. So, although we know we have to follow the rules and regulations and chant and do all the things which are necessary to do, but then sometimes Krishna, you say, well, Krishna is in control of everything, but he's reciprocating according to our desires. And sometimes when we get proud, which is often, Krishna, he makes arrangements to show us that matasmirta jnana apohanam cha, that I'm giving you the intelligence, I'm giving you the ability, I'm the ability in man, I'll give you the remembrance, but it's not like Krishna's just calling, the shots that, oh, I'm going to teach this one a lesson. He's reciprocating according to our mood of surrender. What's really going on in our mind, our intelligence, and so we have to always be reflecting on ourselves, how I can get free of these misunderstandings of Krishna consciousness, and Krishna will give us that intelligence, and sometimes he covers us over in order to help us to become humble and really more seriously seek that shelter, that guidance. That's all. Anyone else have any questions? More.
Can I ask a question from Bhagavatam class?
Sure, why not?
Just a comment. Well, there was a comment that spiritual dreams are real. So my question is like, can we act on the spiritual dreams, like if Krishna or let us say somebody comes in our dream and says something, or we should confirm that spiritual dream before acting on it?
Yes, well, everything in this world is temporary, especially in our conditioned life, our conditioned state. So I know one devotee that he was told that you should wear white because you're really not a brahmachari. I said, why are you not wearing white? He said, oh, my guru came to me in my dream and said I should stay in brahmachari cloth. So you have to kind of see that sometimes we may utilize our hopes and our wishes and think that they're spiritual dreams. So better we just stick to the awakened philosophy of Bhagavad-Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and not because sometimes in our conditioned state, the dreams may not be what we may think them to be spiritual. I mean, of course, I've had a dream of Prabhupada, but it's not like Prabhupada said, okay, now you should go and do something which is not according to the line, scriptural teaching. So sadhu, shastra, guru has to always be there in the association of devotees. Spiritual dreams are real, it's good. Thank you. Anyone else? 6 o'clock.
Yes.
Yes, Prabhu.
So our activities, the present activities, are based on our previous actions. Just like Hiranyakashipu. He was so cruel because he had been cursed, because he had committed the offense. He cannot be changed. And we are also behaving in a different manner, going away from Krishna. So how we can change?
Who was that was cursed?
Our karma
Yeah.
can be changed. Out of the 5 Ishvara,
Mhm.
Jiva, Prakriti, Kala, the time, the karma can be changed. The karma, the activities, what
Right.
we are doing can
Mhm.
be changed. But these activities are based on our previous activities.
Right.
So, how a person can change? I was giving the example of Hiranyakashipu.
Oh, Hiranyakashipu.
Yeah.
Yeah, Krishna says ultimately, Sarva Dharma Parityaja Mamekang Sharanang Vraja, that we have to surrender to Krishna and He will free us from all sinful reactions. And that surrendering process is given to Arjuna, that when Arjuna was giving so many ideas and suggestions, maybe I should do this, maybe I should do that, now I'm bewildered. Krishna, okay, I surrender unto you, you please instruct me, because I don't know what to do. And Krishna is giving guidance that, you surrender to the Guru, ultimately you have to surrender to Krishna, and Krishna will take away all that karma. Krishna will free you from all sinful reactions. But it's taking some time for us to learn the art of how to fully surrender to Krishna. And that's what we're learning in the society of devotees. And by chanting the Lord's name and hearing about the Lord, then we can learn how to surrender, and then our karma will be changed. Like Prithu said, by clapping your hands in front of the deities, your karma's immediately changed. Although we have certain natures, you unplug the fan, it's still spinning. The karma, some residue of our previous activities, we're conditioned by certain things. But that fan is stopping, is no longer plugged into the wheel of karma. And the more and more we can try to serve and surrender to Krishna, then Krishna will free us from all sinful reactions and bring us back home, back to the kingdom of God. I don't know if I answered your question.
Yeah, I was only having one more.
Yes.
Hiranyakashipu had committed so many offenses. So he was not surrendered, but all the sinful activities nullified.
Were they nullified, his sinful activities?
Yeah, because by surrendering to Krishna,
Uh-huh.
Sarva Dharman Parityaja,
Yeah.
Mamekam Sharanam, Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo. I will take out, I will
Right.
make your sinful actions nullified, zero.
Yes.
So now this Hiranyakashipu had committed so many offenses.
Yes.
So he never surrendered. Course,
Well,
yeah, though he was-
Putana committed so many offenses, killing little children, and Kamsa committed so many. We've committed, like the hunter, that Narada Muni, he was killing animals half dead his whole life. He was committing all kinds of violence to living entities. But then after he surrendered to Narada Muni, he didn't want to even hurt an ant. He was just so conscientious even of the ant. So the Guru is taking the sins of those who are actually surrendering. It's just like the governor can say, stop the execution or release the prisoner. We're prisoners here. And although we've performed all kinds of criminal activities, once we're actually repentant and confess that yes, I've done so many horrible things, and I'm definitely deserve to be punished, then the Lord gives you that leniency, in the sense that frees one of sinful reactions. That's the whole idea of spiritual initiation, that I've committed so many offenses, but now I'm going to follow the directions of my spiritual masters, and then you're freed of the sins. But then don't do it again. Like a Jamil, he saw the whole thing between the Vishnu Dutas and Yama Dutas, and he was repentant. And then he had a chance. he had a chance at that point to go to Haridwar and perfect himself even further. So we're right now in the process of performing our devotional service. You're out preaching, and we're trying to do service for pushing on the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, following as best we can, and Krishna will protect us to the point that we're following the process of Krishna consciousness. The doctor, if he gives you medicine, you think, well, am I going to be free now? If you take your medicine, yes. And if you follow the rules and regulations concerning your disease, and yes, all those atrocities will be cleansed away by Krishna's grace. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much for your class. I just wanted to make a comment too about the guru is the one who takes all of our karmas and our sin, and he's our representative to Krishna, to the spiritual world. So I was thinking about when Hiranyakasipu was killed, because Prahlad Maharaj, who was a great devotee, he prayed to the Lord, please forgive my father.
Right.
So because he prayed, then his father will be forgiven for his sins, no?
Yes, Krishna said, just by you being a devotee, so many generations, even though they were all sinful, they're cleansed. So it's like, it's not just a mechanical process, but Krishna, he appreciates, and as the guru is taking the sins upon initiation, and by you becoming a devotee, then many, I think 10 generations, or I'm not sure how many.
21.
Wow, it's more merciful. So 21 generations. So you think, well, not every one of them surrendered, or maybe none of them surrendered. But by your becoming a devotee and serving the Lord in this capacity, you're freeing so many. What to speak of yours? So the Guru takes that responsibility to bring us back home. Okay. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.